our channel. It's Friday and ready to jam. Pick up my girls. Hey, it's Friday. It's Friday. It is Friday, my good people. What's up? How y'all doing? I hope that y'all are having a wonderful day. Welcome back to Currently Building Generational Wealth Lifestyle. I am one of your hosts. God is the ultimate host. I am Danielle Bailey. And y'all already know I come on here, I talk about the good, the ugly, bad, or whatever it is with private practice. And so if you are new to this channel, welcome. And if you're not, what's up to my OGs? Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, and comment in the section below. And make sure y'all turn on that bell, click that bell notification so that you can be notified when your girl posts a video. Okay, y'all, that's YouTuber right there. But y'all, please continue to share these videos. Continue to like and subscribe to the channel. Y'all know that I'm trying to get to 8,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So we're like at 660 something. I haven't checked it in a while, but make sure, come on y'all, let's get us to 1,000. But nonetheless, before if you are new, if you haven't watched last Friday's video, you may want to check that out before you watch today's video. Because, well, you don't have to, because they're not. We're just in a series, okay? We're in a series of assessment tools. So for those of you that do not know, we use assessment tools to help verify our diagnosis. So we're just not coming up. So when people, insurance companies or whoever audit us, and we're just not coming up off the fly with why we think this person have depression, anxiety, or whatever. We have tools to actually support it. So you would say per Beck depression inventory scale, blah blah this, per PHQ-9, blah blah this. Okay, so you will put that in your note. So today we are going to talk about. Last week we talked about depression. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorites, one of my all-time favorites, and something that I actually suffer from myself, and that is anxiety. Okay, I will give you a little bit of backstory about my own, my dealings, my run-ins, if you want to call it, how I got diagnosed with anxiety, and all the other great stuff. But before we jump into that, I want to talk about, give a few church announcements. Don't forget, we are doing a membership test, a membership run in the month of November. So if you would like to be a part of, I want to start a community and I want to meet you guys. Y'all come and y'all see me every whenever I post videos. I want to see y'all too. I want to meet y'all. A lot of y'all are from other places and I just want to meet you guys. I love meeting people sometimes. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I want to meet y'all because y'all are my community. And I want to say that this membership, let me tell you a little bit about how the membership came about. One day I was logging into this local LCSW group, and it's run by Association of Black Social Workers. And so like I got the invite from the president or whatever. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I haven't been to a meeting in a while, so let me go to this meeting or whatever. And so the president's name is Antoine. So like we got on, and so this gentleman had got on. And so Antoine was like, he was just introducing, everybody to everybody. Because I didn't know any of those. Because I hadn't been in a while. And so I didn't know the two people that were on there. So the gentleman had got on. And so Antoine was like, hey, please forgive me because I can't remember your name. But he was like, hey, so this is Danielle. And I'm not sure if you know Miss Bailey. And so he was like, I don't know her personally, but I know of her. And I was like, okay. And so he was like, yeah, I know of her on YouTube and I know her through Freedom Therapy. And so he was like, I watch your videos. And so I was just like, really? Like, I was just like, oh my God. And so like, I get people who say that a lot to me, like, oh, I watch your videos, whether they be my Facebook videos or whatever. So I just want to meet y'all too as well or whatever. And so of course we're going to talk about, your private practice. You're going to be able to ask questions. We are doing, not only are we doing live, but we're doing Zoom. So that way we all can be interacting with each other and we all can share. So this, I wanted to form a community or whatever. So this will be a trial test run for me, myself, and you. It'll probably be, I don't know if it's going to run for November and December, because those are the holidays, but I know for sure in November that it will run, and you need to come because we need to talk about, if you have not, I want this to be a shared community, okay? I don't want you to feel like you don't you're too afraid to where you can't share what you're trying to do or whatever, because I'm not trying to steal your ideas, and I don't want nobody else to try to steal your ideas. Now there's a difference between you being afraid you don't want nobody to share your ideas and God haven't told you to release it to the public yet. I don't want to know those ideas that God haven't told you to release to the public yet. No, we don't need to know those. But some of the stuff that you have, that you've been thinking about, and we need to brainstorm, and we need to, we can brainstorm and we can work together or whatever. So, nonetheless, if you want to be a part of that, email me at freedomtherapycenter@gmail.com. Again, I am testing this out for it to be a membership in January. It'll be a paid membership in January. So y'all come test it out, and let's see how we can work this thing out, and let's see how I can be a better service to you guys as well. The membership fee in January will be affordable. It will not be no outrageous fee or nothing like that. And so you will know a little bit more. I will know a little bit more about the whole membership and how it will work in December. So after I do the test run in November, we'll probably do like the first 2 weeks of December, and I'll do like the final testing, and then you can join then. Okay, so it's going to be very affordable and stuff like that. So nonetheless, that is the membership. And one more thing, Couch to Private Practice is also opening up, and it is going to start accepting members in November. So email me telling me that you want to be a part of that as well. All right, so those are the church announcements. So let's just go ahead and get into anxiety. Okay, I will tell you a little bit about my backstory of how I actually got diagnosed with anxiety myself. And 2018, life was hell. Just point blank period. Life was hell, and I did not know. 2018, not looking back on it, it really was hell. In April, my grandfather took sick. April 2018, he took sick, and it was just, life was crazy in 2018. My grandfather took sick. My grandfather stayed in Georgia too, so it was an 8-hour drive from my mom's house over there, and she was driving. So my mom was going back and forth to Georgia. My mom started getting sick, and mind you, my mom stays 2 hours away from me. My dad had knee surgery in August. And then we had something else that year. We had like a flood or a hurricane that year. And then my grandfather died in 2018 too as well. So he took sick. My mama was going back and forth. I was working full time. Then I was working full time trying to open up my private practice. And then I also quit my full-time job in 2018. Like, all of this, now that I think about it, like, all of this was happening in 2018, I'm crying. Like, I realized now, wow, I feel like I was losing my mind. I was just look crazy, you know. Life was happening, and that's what it happens sometimes. So, like, I'm having to take off work, going to see about my mom, going to check on her, and then she was sick, and the doctors didn't know why. And you know, and I remember one time it was just so scary to where she was just like, my aunt would call me. It'll be my aunt. If my aunt called me early in the morning, I knew that it was something wrong with my mom. And so she called me one morning. It was like 6 something, and so she was like, "Your mama here at the hospital." And I'm just like, "What?" And so, like, apparently my mom took sick that night, and my mom lived by herself. My mom took sick that night, and like, that's all she had enough strength to do was to come and crawl to the door. And luckily my cousin was outside or whatever. And this is just like, yo, it's about to make me cry. But luckily my cousin was outside. And like, when my mom was able to, my mom at the back of her house in her room had enough strength to crawl to the door, to open up the door. And she has a dog. So her dog just took out running. And so my cousin was like, he looked over, and so he could see my mom like halfway out the door, and like he started, you know, screaming for his mom, and so they had to take my mom to the hospital, and they, to this day, we still don't know what happened. So I got all of this going on in my brain, just like life was happening. And so my doctor, she was just like, I would go to her and my blood pressure was high, and mind you, anxiety can make your blood pressure high too. And so my blood pressure was this high, so she was like, I want to put you on a blood pressure pill. We could not get the blood pressure down. Like, my blood pressure continued to be high, and I'm on pills. And that's a whole different ball game right there, being 32, and you're on blood pressure pills. That's a whole different subject of me crying in the doctor's office, period. Like, just like, and so one day I was working with the client, and at that time, like, I was fatigued. Like, when I tell you I had classic anxiety symptoms but did not know it, I only had enough strength to see my clients. That's all I had. And I was asleep between clients. I was just that exhausted, worried, and the crazy thing is I was sleeping at night, so I would have enough strength. I would be awake, I would be alert during session, and then after that I would go and lay down on my futon in my office. And so thank God during that time God covered me, because I really didn't have much clients in my full-time job at the time. They would either cancel or no show. So I still got paid. Your girl back there was asleep, okay, trying to get some rest. But that was my run-in with anxiety. And so I was working with the patient, and she was like, we was just talking, and so we was talking about anxiety, and all of a sudden it dropped in my spirit, fool, you have anxiety. And I'm just like, I'm talking to her. And so I was like, wait. So I'm running down the list of the, everything, the symptoms and all this and all that. So like we finished with her session, and I worked at a doctor's office at the time, and my PCP was there. I directly left out that session, marched my little self to her office, and because she's a nurse practitioner, and I was like, Naisha, she was in her office, and so she was like, you all right, Miss Bailey? I was like, I have anxiety. I know I got it, and that's so I was like, I got it. And so she was like, well, let me close the door, because patients and all this other kind of stuff. And so she took me to the exam room, and we talked, and she was like, why you think you have it and stuff. She was like, I'm not questioning you got it or not. She was like, but let's talk about why. And so we sat down and we talked about it, and I told her what was going on with my life and all this other kind of stuff. And so she was like, okay. She was like, let's prescribe you some Wellbutrin. And so she prescribed me Wellbutrin, and I ended up taking off work the next day because, again, life was hell. And so I took it, and it worked. It worked. My blood pressure came down, and everything. Like, I started to level. I saw a difference the next day because I was always anxious. Like, I had an anxious and a nervous feeling all the time or whatever. And so that's how I end up figuring it out, that I suffer from anxiety. And so I started taking Wellbutrin. It's been good ever since. I still take it to this day. If I get overwhelmed with stuff, if I'm doing too much, it makes me anxious. It makes me nervous too as well. So I still take it or whatever. And if I don't take it, I will go into like a like a little bit of a depressive episode, as well as my anxiety is through the roof too, or whatever. So your girl still take it, and I'm all right with it too. Point blank, period. So anxiety, I have a personal relationship with him, and I'm okay with it. All right. So let's talk about some of the scales that you can use to diagnose people with anxiety. We got the first one. Again, these scales are linked in the description box below. Beck Anxiety Inventory Scale, BAI. Again, this is a self-explanatory scale. The clients go up in there and they answer, and you score them, okay? So that's all they do. They read them, they score which number that they feel like they have, right? So on the back, I got this printed off. It comes in two pages, but I got them on back and printed out on back and front. So 2 pages right here, and it gives you the scale down here. So if a client scored between 0 to 21, they have low anxiety. If they score 22 to 35, they have moderate anxiety. Score of 36 and above, potentially concerning levels of anxiety. When you have a 36 or above, you may need to start seeking out medication. I have some clients, and I want to say this as a therapist. If you have anxiety and you want to share your story, you can share your story, but make sure when you share your story with your client, it helps them. And so, like, I have shared my story with my definitely afraid, and it's like it's needed. I need to normalize it because I need them. And I had one. I'll never forget. Like it was just recently, and like because I feel like people people don't want to acknowledge the fact that you have anxiety, especially within the church system and stuff like that. They be like, oh, I rebuke that, oh, I rebuke that. And my thing is, like I made this post on Facebook last week. When people be like, oh, I rebuke that. I don't want to claim that I have anxiety. I don't want to claim that I have depression and all of that. I get what you're saying. Accepting that you have anxiety
And we've
and
upgraded
believing
her
that
with a
God can
sonic
still
shield.
heal you from that is
Impressive.
two totally different things. And so, like, I see a lot with Christian folks. They be like, "Oh, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus." How about we stop rebuking all of this stuff, and how about we start praying that God help me, give me wisdom on how to live with this anxiety, give me wisdom on how to live with this depression. Stop rebuking stuff because some of this stuff may be a thorn in our flesh. If you go to Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, when Paul had asked God to remove this thorn from my flesh and God denied him. He asked God 3 times and God told him, my grace is sufficient enough. I am made strong in your weakness. So if Paul still had a thorn, if God would remove it, maybe anxiety or depression is your thorn. And you just need to ask God, how do you live with it? In my weakness, your Bible verse said, in my weakness, I am strong. In my weakness, you are strong. Okay? So, stop. Please, Christian folks, stop rebuking it and ask God and start praying how. Like how to live with it until he decides to heal you. If he even decides to heal you, because that may be your thorn again. So accepting does not take away from you believing that God cannot heal you. What it does, it makes you human and it normalizes that you are going through stuff. It makes you human and normalizes that I need God more. So, okay? If you got anxiety, baby, stop rebuking it and start learning how to deal with this stuff. Go see you a therapist, get on you some type of medication. And the reason why I brought this up is because it came up in a session, and I really and truly, like, this is why it's so important, you know, like you have a Christian therapist or whatever sometimes. Well, you have a Christian therapist, because I was able, that person was struggling with that, and I was just like, you know, how about this? How about a different way? And God placed it, God really and truly placed it up on my heart, and God gave me them words, okay? Sometimes, girl, you know, I be confusing the Bible sometimes, but don't judge me, okay? I'm still learning. But nonetheless, y'all, so we got the Beck, and we also, the PHQ-9 has a people got a GA, generalized anxiety disorder scale as well. They got a GAD out of, so I'm pretty sure they pronounce it some kind of way, but they have that, right? And again, they have a few questions where you answer and you go from there. You verify it as well. So again, your girl has done the work for y'all, so y'all ain't got to look for it. Boom, here you go. And this sheet right here even has both the PHQ-9, the depression, and the generalized anxiety, all on one page for y'all. I found it and we looked up. So cheers. Cheers to y'all. We got this last one, and it's a 2-for-1. So your clients can fill out both of these. So if you're doing paperwork, give your clients this one. So I will link it below, and you'll have it. So you got 4 different scales that you can use. PHQ-9, Beck, PHQ-9 for depression and anxiety. You got your Beck scales for anxiety and depression as well. So I hope that these scales actually helped you guys. And I hope that my little rambling also actually helped you guys. I know these videos are longer than 20 minutes, but nonetheless. Y'all already know I love you guys. Y'all make sure y'all have a wonderful week. And next week we will talk about ADHD. And we will talk about the scale that you need And next week I'll talk about the Vanderbilt scale. Um, although I've used the Vanderbilt. I don't diagnose much now. Excuse me. I don't diagnose much now with ADHD because I don't see as many kids anymore. So we'll talk about ADHD next week, and we'll also talk about with the ADHD and all these adults that are coming saying that they have ADHD, but it's really anxiety. Y'all know ADHD and anxiety have some of the same attributes too. So nonetheless, that is next week's topic. All right, you wonderful people. I will see y'all on the next video. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, and tell your good people about what's going on over here at this channel. We educate. All right, bye.